Johnson.
Thank you. Interesting point. In addition to pointing out the benefits, Cliff, the current welfare programs discourage people from working, and I guess because some people like them dependent on the government. We should also point out that they strongly discourage people from getting married, because obviously if you're a single parent and you marry somebody with an average income, all of a sudden you're no longer in poverty and you could lose $25,000 a year in benefits. So I guess I'll ask you guys, that's not exactly the topic, but since it was brought up, is there a strong marriage penalty in society that causes people to perhaps not want to be married and lose all their federal benefits? Would either Mrs. Bohan or Ms. McCutcheon care to tackle that?
Thank you, Congressman. That's something I haven't really thought too much about,
okay.
so I probably can't answer in detail.
Well, we'll just go with common sense here, right? When you have a bag full of $30,000 worth of benefits, daycare benefits, free low-income housing, free food stamps, earned income tax credit or whatnot, and you get married and you're no longer eligible for those benefits, do you think it causes less marriages in our society? There's like a $25,000 penalty for being married.
Let me take that up. Absolutely. And this particularly goes to, and it's very similar with Section 14, which, by the way, is in the FLSA, so the DOL can't just write it out, the FLSA, because they're not Congress. But when I was wage and hour administrator and I recovered back wages for 14C violations, the families came to me and say, we don't want all those back wages in one lump sum because we are going to lose other federal and state benefits if our son or daughter gets that huge chunk of back wages. So getting rid of 14C and other things in the federal can discourage work and marriage.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Stettner, I'm kind of appalled at your hostility towards 14C. So people here understand if you have certain disabilities, spina bifida, Down syndrome, quadriplegic even, in order to give you the benefit of work and make a little extra money, usually these people are on SSI for most of their income, they are allowed to work for under minimum wage, okay? I wondered how, and when I love to tour these facilities, it makes you feel really good to see these incredibly happy people who, at first blush, life has dealt kind of a tough situation, but they're working for $2 an hour, $3 an hour, enough to work on their own, enough to be like their siblings, have a job, maybe buy some clothes, buy some gifts for people, what have you. How many 14C certificate workplaces have you seen in the last few years?
As the president of the Autism Society of America of Maryland, taking care of my daughter as autism, what we've done is we've helped people with autism get good jobs in the community, working in a manufacturing plant, working at a Defense Intelligence Agency in Northrop Grumman. We can do better in 2025 than segregating people with disabilities into sheltered workplaces. Well, let's do better with things like the transition to Integrated Competitive Employment Act, which would allow states and communities to give the supports, coaching, otherwise, so people can actually work in their own local restaurants, their own local bakeries, where I buy my baked goods. They don't need to be in segregated workplaces.
Okay, what I'm asking is, have you talked to these folks? Whenever I tour my facilities to take advantage of 14C, I am always impressed on how happy the people are who are there. They're able to work there for an extended period of time and establish new friendships, which is also important for these people, because frequently if you are that disabled, your parents have to worry, are you going to have any friends outside your parents? Here you have friends that last for years and years and years. Don't you feel, and there are people who can work in a goal of all these workshops is to have people work outside, but some people can and some people can't. And that would be obvious to anybody who toured them, that the vast majority of people here are happy and that the vast majority of people working on the floor probably couldn't find somewhere to work in the community. Again, I'll ask you, have you specifically toured these places to talk to the employees to see whether they're happy or unhappy?
Most people with disabilities and their parents want them to work and contribute to
I'll
themselves.
just cut you off, I'm out of time, but that is just plain not true.
Mr. Kiley from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Wolfson, you've done